Okay, but did you call your daughter? Hey, whoa. Did you call her retarded? Hey, whoa. Sharonis, answer the question. Answer the blood clot question.
VBS, I just turned the water on. Big old flex, shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Keeping on my lip, truck look like brains.
Jessie Woo, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, so you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black Women's Month. I don't know what's going on this month. It is Black Women's Month. And when I tell you just everything just been so un-Black women-y, like it's just so much going on. Like this supposed to be our month. It's supposed to be Black Women's Month, Black Women's Excellent Month. And it just been nothing but buffoonery going on this month, okay? So y'all see the title. Y'all see what I'm about to talk about in this quick woo child. We're going to have a quick woo child. Woo child. Okay, I'm going to start these little woo child segments. I did try to do this before, but you know what? I said, let me just bring this on back. Bring it on back. Right on back. Quick woo child segment. We're gonna talk about Sarunas Jackson. And I mean, I've been seeing what's been happening. It's just I really wanted to see if he was gonna say anything. Cause this is just so much going on. I'm like, okay, is he gonna say anything? Like, is he gonna like try to like beat the allegations? Because the allegations are strong. These are some strong ass allegations. So first and foremost, I want to go back to the beginning, right? A couple days ago, I was on TikTok and this TikToker did appear on my algorithm. You know, the algorithm gonna do what it's doing. If a lot of people is talking about something, it's gonna come up on your algorithm. So I did see this video. Now, I just want to make it clear that when the TikTok first started, I'm like, who is she talking about? But it gets made pretty damn clear who she's talking about as the TikTok progresses. Here it is for those of you guys who haven't seen it.
Finger down if you dated a F-list celebrity since 2021. You know, you guys had your back and forths on and off, but at the end of the day, you guys always came back to each other and talked about building a life and having kids. And you showed him unconditional love 24/7. You took care of his daughter like she was your own. Meanwhile, all of this stuff is going on. His brother had a baby and was dating a very, very, very famous child star actress, now adult. And they were going through their legal drama publicly. And her mother came out accusing your boyfriend of being an abuser, a narcissist, evil, every horrible thing you can think of. And all the while he's in your apartment hiding from people serving him, like law papers serving him. He's crying in your apartment about how everyone's trying to say that his character is like they've got him all wrong and none of these things are true. And because you're so in love with this guy, you believe every single thing that he says. He's been manipulating you this whole entire time. Flash forward to end of 2024, December 2024. You finally get tired of all of the back and forth, the up and down, the highs and the lows with this guy. So you write him an email that basically says, I cannot do this any longer. Please leave me alone. You know, I don't want the family that we discussed. You know, I know that it's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen separately. Go on with your life. You know, this is just too much for me. He calls you. Why did you send that email? You go, it's pretty self-explanatory. So he basically tells you, work on us. Like, let's try again. Like, I see a future with you. All these things convince you all over again. And because you love this man deeply, you agree. So now you're hanging out, and now it's top of 2025. It's January, and you're thinking, okay, we're working together. Like, this is the love of my life. No relationship is easy. Whatever. He wants to be here. I want to be here. Cool. We start watching a show one day, and we're watching this TV show, like a medical TV show, and there's a child that comes in to get an abortion. And I look at him, and he looks a little funny. So I'm like, are you okay? Like, is the show too queasy? He pauses the TV and tells you, I have to tell you something. Immediately, you start to shake and you feel sick to your stomach, because the only thing this man could possibly tell you after all of his cheating and lying and scamming and everything else he's done is that he has a new baby coming. Ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what he told me. Except for he said back in 2021, he gave his sperm to a sperm bank to this woman. She froze his sperm since 2021 and then randomly decided to unfreeze it without his knowledge and insert it in herself. And now she was waiting to see if she was pregnant. Mind you, I've been with this man since 2021, and he's never mentioned such thing because it is a lie. This man is such a liar that he couldn't even fess up and say, hey, when we were broken up for 3 days, I went and I had schmegs with someone else.
Lord.
So he concocted this crazy, bizarre lie that he donated his sperm. I asked to see a contract. I asked to see the woman. He would not show me any of these things except saying, I don't owe you an explanation. I'm not going to defend myself. You need to believe what I'm saying. I'm distraught. I'm crying. And then it becomes physical. After this man blows up and tells me that I'm nothing, that I'll never be anything, looks around my apartment. Mind you, this man hasn't worked in months because Hollywood doesn't want to deal with him. His name has been smeared, and so has his brother. After he's taken money from you, he continues to tell you that you're going to be nothing. I've been supporting the man.
Fine.
And all of these things, then he resorts to hitting you. And this was not the first time. This was the second. Didn't tell any of my family or friends about this stuff because I thought I could handle it. So, yes, after I've been cheated on, lied to, publicly embarrassed, everyone and their mother knows that this man is awful. But yet, somehow, he gets invited to all of these Hollywood parties and people rave about him because he's a narcissist and he's wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask and, you know, I saw him that day for who he truly was, and he didn't like it, and he didn't like the things that I had to say, so he resorted into hitting me. Yeah, so put a finger down if you went through that. Yeah, this guy's gonna get his, but not by my hands. I think it's gonna be the Lord's.
Well, let's just be for real. He's going to get his by your hands as well, sister. That same hand you held up like this and you didn't put a finger down till the end of your 10-minute story. Yeah, he's definitely going to get his by your hands as well. And as he should, if your story is true. And the gag is that her story is not only true, but what came on my timeline today was this. Dominique Perry chimed in and I think I just had forgotten about Dominique's story, who, shout out to Dominique, really, really one of the nicest people I've met in this industry. Dominique chimed in and she gave her 2 cents. Now, what she says to me is just like so harmful and so disgusting. She chimes in and at the top of, I guess, someone else retweeted the girl, I think her name's Brittany, the girl's TikTok. Dominique tweeted on top of it, and she said, "Here for you. You also told me a time you had to feed our daughter because he didn't, and him making a really dark, sick joke about her being retarded, knowing she has autism. I'll stop here." That to me is just, I don't even have any words for that. Like, I have no words for just how disgusting that is. But then it made me look at this girl again, right? Because you've been on and off with him. You've been dating him since 2021, right? So Dominique, if we just do our research, this is an article dated back 2023. Okay. Insecure actress Dominique Perry accuses Darius Jackson's brother, Sarunas, of abuse. Insecure actress Dominique Perry is accusing her former co-star and child's father, Sarunas Jackson, of mental and physical abuse. She alleges that she experienced emotional volatility, intimidation, bullying, undeserved stress, mental and physical abuse, controlling and narcissistic behavior all over the past 5+ years from Sarunas and his family in a petition filed in California Superior Court on Tuesday, obtained by USA Today. The former co-stars share a 5-year-old daughter. This is back in 2023. Sarunas Jackson, 33, the older brother of Darius Jackson, who shares a son with Keke Palmer, the Nope actress, accused Darius of DV and filed a temporary restraining order against him earlier this month. Okay, so the reply declaration to Sarunas Jackson on Tuesday follows Perry's petition to determine parental relationship on September 21st. Jackson opposed the petition in a November 16 motion to quash. Okay. So going back to Brittany, the girl in this TikTok, you've been with him since 2021, right? That tells me that at least by the time their daughter was 3 and they were going through a lot of volatile situations, you were definitely aware of that. And I'm sorry, like, if I'm dating a man and that man is not feeding his child so much so that I have to feed his child, I don't see myself sticking with that man. That's number one. Number two, a man talking about his child like that to me, calling his daughter retarded to me, I'm sorry, I'm not sticking around for that. Now, I've never been a victim of DV. So, I am aware that a lot of times there's Stockholm syndrome, there's a lot of things happening. But from what it sounds like from her story, the DV really didn't start happening until post all of this, until post Dominique's court case. She says that the second time that he put his hands on her was in 2025. And then here's the thing too, is not only are you feeding his daughter, but you're actually feeding him as well, because you said in your story that he's staying with you, he's living with you to dodge court servings. We just really he ain't shit, right? But us as women, what is it about us that we will see a man being an ain't shit person to someone, like to their kids, to their previous love interest? What is it about us that makes us think that things are going to be better? Like, I'm not going to stand by while you don't feed your child and you call your child the R word to me. That's just not going to fly. Okay. And mind you, Britt herself talks about how Keke's mom was out here calling that man an abuser. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember Keke's mom spitting into the camera, like going crazy because of what was happening with her daughter and how she had asked him for help and he didn't help her? This was Keke's mama.
Look, I've never done anything like this. I've been in this business for 22 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, but this is I can't help myself. For Sarunas Jackson to post on his Twitter the ridiculous stuff that he's posted when he knew his brother was abusive. I went to Sarunas over a year ago and told him that his brother was abusive to my daughter. And he said, well, I used to be like that too. What? So now he's posting on Twitter like he's this special guy when we know he's the biggest fuck boy in Hollywood. He's disrespectful to women, just like his little brother. He taught his brother how to be abusive. So he don't get to act like he's this special guy. No, you're a fuck boy and you're a part of the problem.
You know what this reignites for me too, as I'm just looking at all this? I be feeling like these women will come forward and they will tell us these stories about these men and what they're doing, but then like they move on. Cause like even with like Keke Palmer and her baby daddy, like they've posted in pictures together, post everything, like so everything's all right now. And it's kind of like us onlookers, we're just like, okay, so everything's cool. Okay. It's kind of like even like Jonathan Luther King Majors Jr. It's like, so because all y'all have decided to just act like this never happened, so we're all supposed to act like this never happened too. It's just been weird with both of those brothers now that I think about it. But anyway, remember Brittany talked about the fact that Sarunas gave her that Liler that Liler from Love is Blind story about a woman freezing his sperm and holding on to it for years, and that now she was having the baby almost 3 years later. Like, people really go around and tell this, like, men really go around telling this damn lie. And then he tried to lie to her about being a sperm donor, but couldn't provide the receipts. At least, unlike Ashley, at least Brittany was like, I want to see the contract. So the woman who he's actually having a child with, her name is Tisha. She came forward and she exposed Sarunas as well. So you can see Tisha right there in the circle. And the Jasmine Brand wrote, a woman named Tisha has taken to IG to blast the insecure actor for demanding she get an abortion, ghosting her when she initially denied, then popping back up to ask for help to hide the entire situation from his girlfriend. Tisha said things between her and Sarunas were strictly physical with no emotional connection. 2 weeks after they hooked up on Christmas Day, while he had a girlfriend, this man is diabolical. I can't. Woo, child. She learned she was pregnant by the celeb. She claimed that Sarunas pressured her to get an abortion because she didn't consent. Because he didn't consent. So sticking your raw dick in her was not consent? He didn't consent to having a baby. Allegedly, weeks then went by without a word from Sarunas until he randomly surfaced with a request for Tisha to ignore his girlfriend should she reach out asking if he cheated. Things apparently only got stranger from there as Tisha shared voice recordings of what sounds like Sarunas asking her to claim the pregnancy came about because they were two friends who had a mutual agreement to welcome a child via sperm donation. This man watched Love is Blind with Lala and Ashley, and took that shit personal and said, ooh, aha, I'm going to use this one. Ooh, I'm going to use this. Sarunas. Okay, so she basically talks about the whole thing here. If you want to pause and read her caption, you can, but the Jasmine Brand basically summed it up. And then she exposes text messages from her and Sarunas' girlfriend. So I guess this is the girlfriend. Did you go to a surrogate and freeze my boyfriend Sarunas' sperm, or did he fuck you? She says, I didn't feel inclined to respond based off of how you described it, based off how you decided to reach out, but I am not in the business of protecting males that lie on me. Do I look like I need to have sperm artificially inserted in me? A surrogate carries a baby for someone else. Since you seem misinformed about surrogacy, think twice before you come at another woman with some bullshit like that. Have a nice day. And then you have the girlfriend saying, wasn't my lie. That's what he told me. I wrote that message in heightened in a heightened emotional state. Not hard to imagine. I didn't mean surrogacy. He told me that you had his sperm frozen since 2021 and recently decided to unfreeze it without his knowledge and were awaiting to see if you were pregnant. He was my boyfriend since 2021, so this news was jarring for me. Eventually got him to show me your text thread and clearly saw that you, in fact, were not pregnant via his insane story. Sarunas is a habitual liar and a physical abuser. I thank God that all of this has happened and I get to walk away from him, no strings attached. Blessings to you on your new journey. The baby mama said he called me and told me to ignore you. He called me and told me to ignore you if you messaged me, but I didn't even see the messages till days later. I was more so shocked that you believed his story and didn't want any parts in the back and forth with you. We've only had sex twice since last year. Once in March, then in December, which is when I got pregnant. I would never freeze his sperm. So for him to make me out to be desperate like that is crazy. I didn't even want to have sex with him. Wait a minute. This is going dark. See, I didn't read all this. Whoa. I didn't even want to have sex with him. I was asleep and he kept trying. I'm not sure what. Ooh, okay. This is kind of dark for me. If y'all want to pause the screen, y'all can. But this is like very, very dark because this is giving essay at this point. This is giving essay. But she goes and she shows text messages between them. Okay. And yeah, this looks like two people who were doing the damn thing. Okay. This doesn't look like he was forced or that he didn't consent. This is really nasty. But anyway, the reason why I want to finally talk about this was because I did want to see if he was going to say anything, and he did. Now, I absolutely detest the Shade Room. I've actually been blocked from the Shade Room since I think 2019 because I called them out on some stuff that they were posting about Jordan Woods and they blocked me. Period. But apparently Sarunas actually gave a statement directly to the Shade Room. So unfortunately, I have to get it from the Shade Room. So here is a statement. Did you have a physical altercation with Brittany at all? She alleges that you got physical with her twice. He says, no, I did not have a physical altercation with Brittany in the way in the way it has been portrayed. I have never been violent toward her or any woman in my life. Baby, per Dominique and per Kiki's mama. And then you have the baby mama saying that she was asleep, sir. So he says, Brittany has a history of experiencing abuse. I too witnessed abuse in my childhood, causing me to have a significant caution and sensitivity around this issue. With past false allegations made, they were weaponized. Acknowledging that I am a 6'8" black man, it's giving I'm a young black man doing all I can. Please, Sarunas. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at this corny ass response. I'm sorry. Please. Okay. I am overly cautious of my presentation and physical potential. I've always been intentional about how I conduct myself, particularly in moments of heightened emotion. Sarunas Jackson. With some of the news that I did not know was false at the time, was received and shared with her, Brittany became angry with my dishonesty and responded with physical confrontation. Oh, okay, so he's saying that she was the aggressor. In an effort to apprehend her, I de-escalated the situation. There was physical contact. However, at no point was this an act of violence, intimidation, or control. My only intent was to protect myself and prevent further escalation. While I understand how my physical presence can be perceived, I am not a punching bag. I have never used my size or physical strength to intimidate, harm, or violate a woman. Since these public allegations, Brittany and I have been in contact on the phone in which she has apologized and denied any form of domestic abuse occurring in our relationship. We have expressed mutual apologies for the personal matters that have unfolded publicly. We have an on and off connection for years, so I have deep respect for Brittany and she will always hold a special place in my heart. So where's the apology? Everybody else got you like everybody else got receipts on you, Sarunas. So did you record her apologizing? Everybody else got recordings of you. They have screenshots of you. Did you record her? Did you have a child with someone outside of your relationship like Brittany said, or did you actually donate sperm? He says, my 6-year-old daughter is my heart. She is my greatest purpose, my constant source of inspiration, and the reason I push forward despite the challenges that have come my way. I do not have another child or child on the way. Beyond this, I respect the autonomy and choice of all women. Lastly, Dominique Perry mentioned that Brittany told her you forgot to feed your daughter and made a joke referring to her as retarded. Did this happen? He says this, given the unfortunate circumstances, my time with my daughter is limited at times as she lives out of the state now. Because of this, every moment we share is intentional. I do my absolute best to actively show up, nurture, and provide for her, ensuring that she is surrounded by love, care, and family support. The suggestion that I have neglected her in any way is a misrepresentation to serve and formulate a particular narrative. While her mother and I have our differences, I hold deep respect for her as the mother of my child. Unfortunately, my daughter's well-being should never be weaponized. My daughter is not forgotten. She is prioritized. Her needs, sensitivities, and genius are not only acknowledged but embraced. I want to foster an environment where she is seen, heard, and supported in every way possible. Okay, but did you call your daughter retarded? Hey, whoa. Hey, did you call her retarded? Hey, whoa. What? Sarunas, answer the question. Answer the blood clot question. So what do you guys make of this? Like, whose side are you on? Do you guys believe Sarunas? Do you, what do you make of his apology? Or do you guys believe the women? I believe the women. And I have met Sarunas before. He's a really nice guy. He presents as a really nice guy. Unfortunately, many abusers come off very nice. A lot of abusers are very nice people, come across very nice people, which is why, like, being nice to me is just not enough. It's not enough. Just because you're nice doesn't mean that you're a good person. Clock that. Just because you're nice doesn't mean you're a good person. Okay, drop that in comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Woo cha.
Woo cha.